All right, what's up, Washington? My name is Julian.
Playoffs.
We got to hand it to the boys. The boys took the
Playoffs.
trip out to Las Vegas.
Playoffs.
LOSS Vegas. And we came back with a W.
Playoffs.
17-15 is the final score against the Las Vegas Raiders,
Playoffs.
putting us in 6th place in the
Playoffs.
race, the playoff race. And now we control our own destiny to take over the NFC East and make that next run as a second consecutive, NFC East champion. Anyway, so got a lot to talk to, got a lot to get into. I'm going to give you my opinions on the game, break down a little bit what I thought contributed to winning, and then I'm going to go over the top 5 reasons that we did come out with a win. So stay tuned. This is What's Up, Washington.
On the fake, Heineke floating one, end zone. Oh, one-hander caught for the touchdown by Thomas.
What do tight ends do in our games, KB? They catch touchdowns.
So corny.
Logan Thomas, second week back from injury, and what a gem that was.
It was a little token play action, and this is just a bust by the Raiders secondary. What a catch. Looks like he's going up for a big rebound. I said to you in pregame, we talked to Logan Thomas for a minute. I walked away, I said, I forget how big this guy is. What a play.
So corny. It's so corny. But that was the one-handed catch. And it shows what having somebody like Logan Thomas back into the fold can do for our team. Very excited. Very exciting. Very exciting. So this will just be a follow-up on the game. So before we jump in, thank you for tuning in. This is What's Up, Washington. If at any time you get any kind of entertainment throughout this video, I'd appreciate like, subscribe, comment, blah, blah, blah. Same thing everybody always says. But leave a comment. I want to know what you thought of the game. I want to know what you think of next week going into Dallas week.
Playoffs.
You know what time it is.
Playoffs.
Dallas week is here. Dallas week is among us. So before we get into that, let's talk about this last game. Once again, my name is Julian. If you don't know who I am, it's okay. I'm sure there's lots of you, but I am a DC native. I currently do not live inside the country. I'm working overseas, but this is a way to get me to stay close, to interact, and just something I like to do. I like podcasts. I like long form conversations. I like opinionated videos and talking to other people. So I think there's a way to blend discussing the football team with this sort of medium, entertainment medium. So that's what it is. This is What's Up, Washington. So I hope throughout this you can get to know me. I can get to know you guys. And if you have any criticism or suggestions, things I can change or things you want to hear, let me know. This is all going to be organic. I'm going to do all this switching myself and production on the fly because I hate post-production. So there's going to be some hiccups. But anyway, that's all the boring stuff. Let's watch that one more time.
On the fake, Heineke floating one, end zone. Oh, one
Beautiful.
Caught for the touchdown by Thomas.
Beautiful.
What do tight ends do in our games, KB? They catch touchdowns.
Catch touchdowns.
Logan Thomas, second.
Man, what high-level commentary. What do tight ends do? They catch touchdowns. What do tight ends do? Sometimes they block, sometimes they don't. What do tight ends do? Sometimes they line up incorrectly. Sometimes they are in the correct formation. That's what tight ends do in the NFL. But you know what Logan Thomas does? Logan Thomas scores touchdowns. He scores touchdowns. He scores exciting touchdowns. And that goes to show what having him in your lineup can do and how it can change your offense. And unfortunately, we can start with that. Logan Thomas, he did suffer what looks to be a torn ACL and MCL. That's your medial and anterior, I believe. Laterals on the outer. I don't know. I could just be lying to you because I don't really know. I know one of them's in the middle. One of them is on the outside. I've actually torn both my LCL and MCL. It's not fun playing basketball, but I am not an elite athlete. Logan Thomas is. But yeah, Logan, let's start with that. So Logan coming back, he actually finally started getting more reps this week. Last week, it was obviously he was limited to a pitch count, which is fine. This is first came back. But what he adds to this office is a dynamic receiving component that they do not have. He's tall. He's the biggest guy that we have on our team. He's got those hands of stone. He catches everything. And he has that athletic ability showing with that one-handed catch. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that he did get injured, and we're not going to have him moving forward. But it's okay. It's okay. He was obviously game planned for very heavily this week. Now that we know going into next week, we're going to have to work something else. So, Scott, we need you. You've been doing well. You've been showing your ability as an OC. We need you again next week. I don't know if JD is going to be back or not yet. But already having Logan Thomas out is big. We needed him going into this last 5-game stretch, divisional stretch. So it's very sad to see him out. But other than that,
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
You kidding me? You want to talk about playoffs? Yes, I do want to talk about playoffs. So with this 17-15 win over the Las Vegas Raiders, this actually puts us into the 6th seed if the playoffs start today. We're not even from the outside looking in. Other teams have lost that put us in the 6th spot. So at the moment, we're looking pretty good. The next thing would be to, we got to take out Dallas. We play them next week. If we beat them, that puts us, just 1 game behind now at that point. And we can actually gun for the NFC East. Now, it's up to you guys. I think I saw in Rambling with Rio earlier this week, they were having a discussion. What's better? Is it better to take the East and wear that T-shirt, that nice T-shirt, have another T-shirt saying "one not done"? You know, being NFC East division champions for the 2nd consecutive year in a row? Or do we want to go in a little bit under the radar? I think we should go in under the radar, but you know what? It's also exciting football if we're playing for the lead. So at this point, we want to see it. If we go and beat Dallas twice, the fan base is going to be en fuego. It's going to be insane. It's going to be crazy. And that's what we're here for ultimately. We're here because it's exciting and we want entertainment. We want to see a team win. Heineke's playing well. Antonio Gibson is a monster. He's a beast. Our defense is finally playing good. We're starting to have an identity. Ron is healthy. He's fiery. It's exciting. So that's all. That's kind of panned out. We have Dallas week coming up. It's still a rivalry to us. So we're riding high. We need to go into this week with a lot of momentum. We need the fan base to come out and show their support. You know, this is going to be very, very important.
Playoffs?
Yes.
Playoffs?
Playoffs. So let's ride high on this win against the Raiders for a little while. I'm going to go ahead and jump into a couple things that I think contributed to the win. Why we won, how we won, and just give you my thoughts. So with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's jump into the top 5. I got a little more production this time. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and start this off. So number 1, Taylor Heinicke. Of course we have to talk about him. Some of these things you're going to know. You're going to know what we're going to talk about, but I want to give you my opinion, and then I want to hear what you think about it as well. Taylor Heinicke. So in this QB-driven league, you only go as far as your quarterback. At the beginning of the year, we thought that quarterback was going to be Fitzpatrick. What's the second quarter? Fitzpatrick goes down. In comes Heinicke. You know, the golden boy, the wonder boy from the playoffs last year that gave us that incredible opportunity to knock out Tom Brady. Beginning of the year, he obviously was struggling. And we even considered, or we were even considering draft prospects, where he was going to stand. And how things were going to turn out. There was a lot of questions. His durability. Is he able to stay healthy? Because his health was a concern going into the season, going into him coming to the team in general. He was always hurt. His size. Is he going to be able to withstand, hits in the NFL? Is his size going to hinder his ability to see over the line, to make some of those tough passes? But I think what we are seeing is the same thing that everyone's talking about. He's got the guts, he's got the moxie, he's got the gusto, but more importantly, he has the brains. He has what's needed between the ears. We've heard he can make all the reads. He can make 5 reads before the play is snapped. He's been in the same offense his entire NFL career, so he knows the playbook inside and out, and he's decisive. He's quick. He knows where his guys are going to be. He knows the defensive assignments pre-snap, which he's shown. And he can play in an anticipatory manner, in a quick manner. And he's showing that he can play the position. He's making himself a lot of money. He's making himself known. He's going to be in the league for the next, how old is he, 28? 12 years? I mean, he's an NFL player. He deserves to be here. And Jonathan Allen said that in the conference after the game. So let's look at this. Heinicke had. Let's take this off. No. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at the stats behind here. So Heinicke was 23 for 30. Played a very competent game. Under 200 yards. Had 196 yards. 2 touchdowns and an interception. 1 sack. He played fine. He played great. He's going to be under a microscope because we still don't know too much about him, right? So every time he has a bad game, it's going to be amplified to a degree that other quarterbacks might not be scrutinized for. And because of his track record, every quarterback is going to throw interceptions. Every quarterback is going to have a bad game. But when you're first starting out, that's what's going to define you throughout your entire career. And Taylor has done a very, very good job these past 4 weeks at playing solid football. He's not doing too much. He's not having to force the game. He does not have to take over and try to push things through the pass offense. And he's been playing competently. In the past 4 weeks, he has 2 interceptions to 7 touchdowns. You'll take that any day of the week. I mean, if you go back and you look at everything under a microscope, yeah, some of these decisions, horrible. He had his interception today, horrible decision. Obviously, it was some miscommunication. He didn't see anything. He almost had another one at the end of the game. But he also shows he makes that mistake. He can brush it off. He has no problems. He can come back in, put it behind him, and then, as he's done many times, march us down the field and put us in a position to win the game. And he did the exact same thing today. So Heineke, rats off to you. I'm excited to see the rest of the season, and I really hope you're here for a long time, at least for a couple years. So we love you. The fan base loves you. We have your back. So make us proud. Make us proud, brother. Well, you don't want to see that. Antonio Gibson. I mean, what else? What else is there to say about Antonio? Over the past 2 games, Antonio has been incredible. Washington is expecting him. Washington is expecting him to carry the load of the offense on his back, and he's showing he can be that workhorse. So this week he went 23 attempts, 88 yards, no touchdowns on the ground. However, he did have 5 receptions for 23 yards with a touchdown, that we know of. And we are very aware of his ability. So with J.D. McKissick being out and losing that aspect of the passing game, and I mean, you could say running game because he's a running back. I think he played very admirably over the past 3 weeks. Last week he had 111 yards. Week before, 95 yards. So from a rushing and a running back perspective, I mean, he can do everything. He didn't have any fumbles this week, but and actually last week didn't have one last week. Okay, so it was the week before in the Panthers. He actually had the fumble. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He had 2 against the Chargers. He's got to figure out his fumbles. But he has all the talent. He has all the ability. He can withstand the beating that he's been taking. He can make the right reads. He's starting to be a little more agile. You've seen him work in that spin move and the jukes, and he's very decisive at what holes he takes. He's very aggressive when he does hit those holes. We have not seen that home run hitter yet. We gotta get it. We gotta get that hitter. But it'll come. I mean, it's not 100% on him. I mean, a lot of it is the scheming. A lot of it can be in the offense. Offensive line, excuse me. I mean, we know the shift that's been going around there, even though they've been playing very well throughout the year. But Antonio, that is going to be the game plan moving forward. We're going to rush him and we are going to work him. We're going to work him to the ground. The offense is going to run through him. And that is what allows us to sustain drives, to control the time of possession, and allow Taylor Heineke to not have to play hero ball. So Antonio, rats off to you too. And more of this to come. You're going to see it against Dallas next week. I guarantee it. Okay, the receivers. So let me pull it up here. I don't know why my internet sucks lately. Okay, so this is receivers. What does this mean? The receivers. Of course, we have receivers. It's a very general term, right? I heard EB talking about this, and I thought it was a very good point that I was thinking about today because yesterday. This was not a stacked Terry McLaurin play. So where did the production come from? We know Antonio. We know Gibson was running the ball heavily. But I saw Diami. I distinctly remember seeing number 2 catch the ball. So this is more to the ability of the receivers playing a specific role because of the lack of high caliber talent. We all know Terry McLaurin, where he stands. I mean, he's undoubtedly a top 10 receiver. I mean, you make your own assumptions. I mean, if you ask some of the diehards, they may put him as a top 5. I don't see him as a top 5. I think he's definitely he is the one guy on our entire team that is in that upper echelon, almost elite. He's not like a DeAndre Hopkins or anything, but he might be. He might be at some point. We get a good supporting cast around him, and then we can get him in even more one-on-one situations, because I think it was fairly obvious that the Raiders were scheming to take him out of the game today, which worked. But that allowed our other guys to step in. Our guys like Chris Humphreys, Jonathan Bates, Andre Carter. Diami got in there. So real quick. So here's the list of guys that just made receptions: Antonio Gibson, Logan Thomas, Adam Humphreys, John Bates, Terry McLaurin, Wendell Smallwood, DeAndre Carter, Diami Brown, and even Curtis Samuel had a negative yard in there. That's 10 different guys contributing to offense. 10 different guys. And that's not even to mention, with Logan Thomas out next week, you're going to see even more Ricky Seals-Jones, who I think has been playing great this year. At the beginning of the year, Fitz was the one that brought in Adam Humphrey. He said he was the best slot receiver, the smartest slot receiver he's ever played with. You have guys like DeAndre Carter, who's showed to give us a spark in our offense. These small, quick guys. But what you're not seeing a lot is a lot of drops, to be completely honest. So Gibson, I don't know. It doesn't actually say lost. These are just targets versus reception. So, I mean, these could be balls that were off or batted away. But you're not really seeing too many drops from these guys this year. But these guys are coming in and they're playing their role. I think that is the theme of the year. And that's exactly what Ron has been pushing and reiterating. I can make up words too and just make it sound good if I just keep speaking. But Ron has been reiterating in his interviews throughout the whole year that these guys need to play their role. Do what you need to do and let everyone else do what they need to do. That's where these receivers come in. They're playing good, solid football. It helps that Taylor can see the field and knows the playbook like the back of his hand. I mean, he's incredibly smart and knows where everybody's going to be. But give the receivers credit. They're where they need to be. They're catching the ball when they need to, and they're all contributing as a receiving core and unit. So, rats off to the receivers. Let's do it again. Defense. That's it. Next. No, the defense is interesting. The defense is playing. Where's the stats? I want to see their defensive stats here. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Oh, team stats. Okay, so the defense is playing where I think our I can't even think of the word right now. Expectations, excuse me. It's late where I am. The defense is playing where our expectations should have been at the beginning of the beginning of this year, but they were skewed because I think the general reception by the fan base and by the media were painting this picture of having a top 5 elite stacked defense. Oh, so stacked. Kendall Fuller is going to have a big year. Oh, St. Juice is going to play for us. He's going to play great for us. Excuse me. Chase Young is going to have Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Ionitis. The expectations were extremely high. I did not think that was going to be the case. If you look back at the quality of talent we played last year, it was nothing. Right off the bat, I mean, we played the Chargers, we got the Bills, we played Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Cam Newton. I mean, say what you want about Cam. I think he sucks now, but he did have a good game against us. He did play very well against us, and the defense held up great. And then not to mention, we still have Dak. Dak is still healthy, and Dak can still put up yards. So we have yet to see him twice a year. And then the almighty God, Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew is back from the dead. So, I mean, Gardner alone elevates the temple that we play this year. But the defense has been playing fairly well. They've been playing very well. And again, they are taking on the same role that I was talking about with the receivers. Guys are just doing their job. At the beginning of the year, Jack Del Rio was relying on Chase and Montez to get pressure on the quarterback, to get sacks, to get hits, so that he can rely on the linebackers and the defensive backs to not have to blitz and, sacrifice extra bodies for coverage downfield. Obviously, that's not the case. I mean, you can make an argument whether or not that is the sole factor. I think they should have also been blitzing at the beginning of the year while letting those guys get after the quarterback. But I mean, hindsight is 2020. Now that those guys are gone, you have guys, other ends coming in that are playing the role that they're supposed to. They're still rushing the quarterback. They're still trying to put pressure on, but they're also taking care of their gap assignments. They're still where they need to be. And that is allowing guys like Ioannidis and Jonathan Allen to play the game that they need to play. And then on top of that, if those guys are all in the right positions, when they do bring extra guys, when they do blitz, the linebackers know exactly where to go. If the linemen are pushing guys out of their gaps, it allows the linebackers to come up and make the tackle. And if there's pressure on the quarterback, there's pressure on the running back, it takes pressure off of the defensive backs and lets them do what they need to do. So in the past 4 weeks, I mean, again, this bye week was like a light switch. I mean, it was on and off for everybody, but defense has been playing very, very well. Jack Del Rio seems like he's dialing his guys in. They're playing exactly the way they need to. You also have guys like Kendall Fuller. He's been playing very well. Bobby McCain. I'm very, very happy with Bobby McCain. Cam Curl. These guys have been playing great. So when you can play solid defense, you don't have to be top tier, but we cannot be bottom tier like we were before. This is the level that I think we should be playing at. And if we can continue this into next year and take some of that expectation off of Chase and Montez and make sure they are playing the roles that they need to play, their skill will take over for them. And that can be what can excel us and push us into an elite defense. So defense, Jack Del Rio, I think you got the stone to throw today in the locker room too. Rats off to you. Good job. And then rounded out just Brian Johnson. I mean, you want a kicker that can do his job. This guy came in, did his job. Young kid, 22 years old, out of Virginia Tech, another local kid. And yes, he's a kid. I can say that now. 22-year-old kid. But a lot of pressure. He's coming in as the 4th kicker of the year. Joey Sly, we thought, would be the guy because he was actually playing very solid. He unfortunately went down. Brian Johnson comes in, makes all his field goals, makes ultimately the game sealing and winning field goal. It wasn't a last minute, but it did give us and seal the lead for us off of his kick, which, by the way, was a little bit dicey, but it doesn't matter. It got there. Again, you win the game, you get the points. It doesn't matter how, as long as you get there. Good job. I think I forgot who it was. I think it was his conference after the game. He seems like he's very confident. He has that personality, that swagger, that gusto that this team kind of thrives on, that other guys like McLaurin and Heineke and Chase that they also have and can bring to the team. So there's an aura around this team that he seems to also emit. He's confident in his leg ability. He said he knows he can reach from 55, no problem. It's just a matter of him locking onto his target and being able to silence the crowd, and then he's fine. He's golden. So I'd like to hear that from you. Rats off to you, Brian Johnson, and let's keep it going. Let's round out the end of the year. All right, so that's you know what? That was a hard cut, wasn't it? Let's keep it with the heavy music.
Playoffs?
Anyway, playoffs. So we've been going for about 30 minutes. I think that wraps things up pretty good. Dallas, bring on Dallas. We want Dallas. We want Dak. We are ready. We are riding high. We are confident. Now, what we need is we need the fan base. I can't physically make it out there. I'm on the other side of the world, but we need the fan base to come out. We need the fan base to represent. We need you at the stadium. We need you to be loud. We need to cause more water to break and spray over people. We need a raucous, exciting, messy environment. We need to show who is boss and who deserves
Playoffs?
to represent the NFC East in the playoffs. And more importantly, just go kick some ass. We want Dallas. We want Dallas.
Playoffs?
We want Dallas, okay?
Okay, let's go.
All right, let's go. Once again, my name is Julian. This is What's Up Washington. If I entertained you for even 1 second, I would enjoy a like, a subscribe. Comment down below what you think is going to happen next week. I'm going to be traveling for work, so I'm going to try to put another video out on the Dallas game if I can. But comment down below what you think is going to happen. I think we have a very good chance, just real quick. I think Dak, obviously he can score and put up points, but as a team, they're not that scary. They seem to be very vulnerable. We are riding with a lot of momentum, not to mention the confidence. We have a lot of momentum off this road win out west, and now we come home, and now it's up to us to decide whether we want to make it to the playoffs. Yeah, I think we got a lot of good things coming up. So once again, thank you. My name is Julian, and this is or has been What's Up Washington. So I appreciate you appreciating me, and until the next video, I will see you there, or I will see you on another time.